Listen closely. I'm going to repeat this 3 times during the broadcast. You need activated charcoal. If you can't scavenge it from a pet store or a hardware store, you can make a crude version yourself. Find some hardwood, burn it until it's black, then quench it in a salt solution. Grind it into a fine powder. You need to sandwich that powder between layers of tightly woven silk or high thread count cotton. If you can find a HEPA filter from an old vacuum cleaner, tear it out. That's your gold mine. Layer it like this: silk, charcoal, HEPA, then another layer of silk. Wet the outer layer with a mixture of water and a little bit of vinegar. It makes it harder to draw a breath, yeah, but it catches the particulates that are currently turning the local forest into a graveyard. My own filter is humming in the corner. It's loud and it's ugly, but it's the only reason I can still speak to you at all. My throat feels like I've been swallowing hot needles for 3 days, and that's with the filter. I can only imagine what it's like for those of you out in the open. This is Joe Henry. If you're still listening, if you've still got the batteries or the crank power to pull these waves out of the sky, then you're one of the lucky ones. Or maybe you're the unlucky ones. It's hard to tell the difference anymore when the sun looks like a bruised plum behind that thick hazy veil they've draped over our world. We are 92 days into this. 3 months since the sky opened up, and 3 months since we realized we weren't being invaded by soldiers, but by a different kind of biology. My voice, excuse me, it's a bit rough today. I've been trying to seal the vents in the studio, but the air gets in. It always finds a way. It's not just smoke, and it's not just ash from the cities that burned in the first week. It's the spores. Those shimmering, iridescent flakes that fall like blue snow. They're beautiful in a terrifying sort of way until you realize what they're doing to the ecosystem. Every breath feels heavier now, doesn't it? Like you're breathing through a wet wool blanket. That's the atmosphere changing. They aren't just killing us, they're rewriting the air so it suits them and not us. I spent most of this morning looking out the small reinforced window in the upper crawl space. The trees don't look like trees anymore. They're covered in that pale, pulsating moss that hums when the wind blows. The birds are gone. I haven't heard a crow or a sparrow in 6 weeks. All we have left is the hum of the ships we can't see, and the sound of our own ragged breathing. But I didn't come on the air today just to complain about the end of the world. We've all had 3 months to get used to the idea that the old world is a ghost. I'm here because some of you are still coughing, and I found something that helps. We're calling it rationing the air. You can't just trust a standard 95 mask anymore. Those pores are too big. The alien spores are microscopic, almost fluid in how they drift. If you want to keep your lungs clear for another month, you need to build a tiered filtration system for your bunker or your cellar. I heard a relay signal last night. It was faint, bouncing off the ionosphere from somewhere out west, maybe Colorado, maybe further. It wasn't the government. The government stopped broadcasting when the secondary towers went down in month 2. No, this was just a guy like me sitting in a room with a radio. He said the spores are reacting to the moisture in the air. He said that in the high deserts, the air is still thin and clear, but down in the valleys, the blue fog is settling in for good. He told a story about seeing one of their structures growing out of the ruins of a shopping mall. He described it like a spire made of translucent bone, reaching up 1,000 feet into the clouds, pulsing with a low violet light. He said it smelled like rotting peaches and ozone. It's a strange thing, isn't it? We expected lasers and tripod machines. We didn't expect a slow, quiet transformation. We didn't expect to be weeded out like a garden. I miss the smell of rain on hot asphalt. Do you remember that? Or the way the air felt right before a summer thunderstorm. Now the rain is greasy. It leaves a film on everything it touches. I tried to collect some rainwater last week, filtered it through 5 different stages, and it still tasted like copper and old pennies. I wouldn't recommend drinking it unless you've got a high-grade distiller. If you're relying on surface water, you're already on borrowed time. Stick to the deep wells if you have them, or the bottled stuff you've been hoarding, and keep the caps tight. The spores love water, they bloom in it. The reports from the early days, back when the internet still flickered on and off, mention that the spores aren't just toxic, they're a delivery system. Terraforming agent. They're breaking down our carbon-based structures and turning them into something else. I look at my hands sometimes and I wonder if I'm still entirely me. We're all breathing it in. We're all part of the new world now, whether we like it or not. But we can stall, we can hold on to our humanity just a little bit longer. That's why you need to build those filters. That's why you need to stay inside. Don't go out to look at the lights. The lights aren't for us. I'm gonna take a moment to breathe. It's a slow process today. If you're just tuning in, this is Joe Henry. You're listening to the only voice left on the dial. We're talking about the air. We're talking about how to keep the outside from getting inside. If you've got children with you, make sure their masks are fitted tight. Their lungs are smaller, more sensitive. They'll feel the itch before you do. If they start complaining about the taste of metal, you need to double layer their filters immediately. We have to protect the next generation, even if we don't know what kind of world they're gonna grow up in, or if they'll even be able to walk under the sun without a suit. Sometimes I wonder if anyone is actually out there, or if I'm just shouting into a void. But then I see a flare on the horizon at night, or a candle flickering in a window across the valley, and I know I'm not alone. We're all just huddling in our little pockets of oxygen, waiting for the clock to run out. But we don't have to give up yet. I've still got enough canned peaches for another month, and I've got enough fuel for the generator to keep this signal going for a few more weeks. I'll be here. Every day at noon, I'll be here to tell you that you're still alive. I find myself talking to the walls more often lately. It's the silence that gets you. In the first month, there were sirens. Constant sirens. Then there were the sounds of the clearing operations, the heavy thuds that shook the ground and broke the windows. But now, it's just the wind and that low rhythmic thumping from the spires. It sounds like a heart beating underground. Maybe the earth has a new heart now. I try to play music sometimes, but the tapes are degrading. The magnetic strips are getting brittle. Everything is coming apart at the seams. Even the physics of the world feel a little bit looser, don't they? My throat, it's getting tighter. I think I need to adjust the intake valve on the scrubber. It's a constant battle keeping the balance right. You don't want too much oxygen or you'll burn through your tanks, but you can't let the spore count rise. It's a delicate dance. Just like everything else now, we're all technicians of our own survival. We're all scientists of the end times. Stay safe. Stay hidden. And for God's sake, keep your masks on. The air isn't ours anymore, but we can still steal a few breaths. This is Joe Henry signing off for now. I'll be back tomorrow if the air holds out. Keep listening. Keep breathing. Just keep breathing.